Hello everybody, Akash Inti here, your favorite biotech research analyst. Today we talk FDA. What is FDA? Short for Food and Drug Administration. Why is the FDA important in the biopharma industry? And how does the FDA carry out its mission? So with that, obviously we'll talk a little bit about what is the mission of the FDA itself. So with that, let's start off with what is the FDA. As I mentioned earlier, FDA is short for Food and Drug Administration. Now, the FDA is a regulatory body in the United States. I believe it falls under the Department of Agriculture, if I'm not mistaken, and it is part of the executive branch of government. The purpose of the Food and Drug Administration is to protect the public health by measuring the safety, efficacy, and security of human and veterinary drugs, biological products, and medical devices, and ensure the safety of our nation's food supply, cosmetics, and products that emit radiation. Now, the FDA also has the responsibility for regulating manufacturing and marketing the distribution of tobacco products to protect the public health, and the aim there is to reduce tobacco use by minors. Now, I'm all grabbing this bit right here from the FDA website, from the FDA's mission. Lastly, the FDA is responsible for advancing the public health by helping to speed innovations that make medical products more effective, safer, and more affordable, and by helping the public get the accurate, science-based information they need to use medical products and foods to maintain and improve their health. Okay. So what is the FDA's mission? What is it really summing down to? Well, again, they talk about food as a key component of it, drugs are a key component of it, and public health is a key component of it. As I mentioned, tobacco is a large part of it, but at the highest level, the FDA is responsible for advancing public health and making sure that public health becomes better, becomes greater as a result of the work that they do. Now, as it relates to the biopharmaceutical industry, and that's what we're going to focus on today, they are, again, ensuring the safety and efficacy and security of human and veterinary drugs, biological products, and medical devices. So they have many different purviews, or they have many different areas in which they focus on. But again, as we drill down deeper into biotech and pharmaceuticals, we're really looking at human and veterinary drugs and biological products. We'll take a particular focus on human drugs. Now, FDA is hugely important for the industry because they are the regulators of the biopharmaceutical industry. In other words, if the FDA does not say it's okay to produce a drug, or if they don't think the drug is safe, if they don't think the drug is efficacious, or in other words, works for its intended purpose, then the FDA can say, shut it down, you guys are done. No manufacturing of this drug. No one's allowed to take this. We are not allowing this in the United States. If you do produce this drug, it is illegal, and we will use the full enforcement of the U.S. federal government to take you to court and make sure you either go to jail or get fined a crap ton. So it's critical for biotech and pharmaceutical companies to be using and abiding by the rules of the FDA. Now, the FDA, as I've talked about in a prior video, they are the ones who have outlined or laid out the clinical trial process. In other words, we have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, and phase 4 clinical trials in which drugs, medical devices, biological products it's a process by which new drugs or new medical devices, etc., are introduced to humans and seen if they're safe and efficacious and secure. So with that, so we talked a little bit about what is FDA, why is FDA important for biotech and pharmaceutical industry, and then lastly, getting a little bit into the mission itself. So again, just a very high level cursory overview as to what is the importance of FDA and so on and so forth. Within it, they have, I think, about 21 different divisions just for all of these different areas in which they are regulating. So A couple that are notably important for biotech and pharmaceuticals is one called CBER, the Center for Biological Evaluation and Research, CDER, Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. I believe there's a couple others, none coming to my head right now, but those are really two of the big key ones. CDER is, again, really CBER, CBER. That's really for biologics, so this would be anything including antibodies, largely antibodies, recombinant products. You could be looking at peptides, proteins, things of this nature. I believe gene therapies, cell therapies fall under this as well. Then you have CDER, which is largely responsible for small molecules, almost entirely small molecules. You might see a couple peptides in here as well. So those are a few of the big branches within the FDA that particularly deals with drugs. But again, there's many different ones, and it really segments down into key areas. So we can get into this in a future video if you guys are interested. Let me know what you guys think. Any questions, comments, etc. Bring them to me, and we'll talk through them. With that, I'll see you. Keep up, thrive, stay sexy.